Ain't no such that biggie, boss I dare tryna put him in a two-pack. Give young girl fresh tax and move that. 6 weeks no pay if you do lose that. And guys put it to the fashion like who's that? 1 pack, 2 packs, keep them do that, keep them shoot that. They don't even know I already can do that. I don't mix up shoot the gun but they're screwed. There wasn't a day I wanted the feels. Catch round ones I got it concealed. Was on a match I got it upfield.
So what we try to do is say, okay, if you can write this good, you can write about anything.
Yeah.
You don't have to just contain your lyrics just to one particular thing, which you find a lot of drill acts just do drill and talk songs, right?
Yeah.
So we've asked you to do something alternative to this, which you've done, to your credit. My name is Justin Finlayson. I'm the CEO and founder of United Borders. Why did I first start this project? Originally, it was just an answer to serious youth violence. And, there was a shooting in my local area, Church Road. A young person called James Owusu was shot dead on his doorstep. But with that murder, that kind of sparked United Borders into life, really. And the whole thing was really about honouring someone who was unable to fulfil their potential because of senseless violence. And the aim of the project was to enable young people to be able to fulfil their full potential.
The effect that it had on me was pretty life-changing. I mean, it's built so many bridges for me in terms of networking and different avenues that I could venture in. It was basically broadened my horizons as a person in general. If I could come back and help others feel the same way that I felt when I joined with Justin and United Borders, then I feel like that could not only do a great impact on that person's life, but a great impact in the community.
I think the community after that point was really cold, because it was almost like, well, if we can't even protect young people who are, nothing to do with violence, who have made good choices in their life, but they're still impacted by violence, it's almost like, what's the point? A lot of people were non-despondent.
I guess the first impact is just the look of the bus. As soon as the bus drives in, it's a thing of interest to the students, to the parents, to the teachers.
The impact of the bus alone is massive because it breaks down that barrier, it makes people curious. Once you get the curiosity and then you're providing something with the music, the podcasting, the sports and stuff that they actually want to have. So you're providing something young people want. We're breaking it down then and using that as an engagement tool to then work with the young person. We build rapport, we build a family here. United Borders is more than just an organisation, it's a family.
I work with young people. It depends on what capacity. Sometimes it's in a group, sometimes it's one-on-one, but what I call it is a professional big brother. As an adult, I believe that it's adults' responsibility to guide the younger generation. So when you're saying what kind of impact, I can remember loads of people that I used to work with when I was young. They had amazing impact from the way I dress to how I talk. And you never know what it is that you leave with a young person.
So it was just about how do I utilize music and something which I've always done, which is a driving job, really. How do I utilize those two things to try and address something as serious as youth violence? Nobody wants to invest in the community when there's violence, widespread violence like that. From the community perspective, it's just unsafe. There's an overall impact on both areas that kind of drags down the morale of the community. So it was really about drawing on my experience within music. I teamed up with Stephen Graham.
In fact, the very first project United Borders done, which is quite a few years ago, I was a part of that project where we brought youth from Church Road and Stonebridge together in two areas that don't really get along together. We actually did a really good workshop together, Justin and myself, and it was very successful. And yeah, I've been with that boy from then.
We'd produce music with the bunch in Church Road in the morning. Then in the afternoon, when we went to Stonebridge, we'd work with them on the beats that we already created with the kids from Church Road. And we continue that, the same thing vice versa. Now, once you do that, there's just that process that happens when you're married to a beat now. Once you're an artist and you've selected a particular beat, that means you love that beat and you want to write to it, so it's inspired you. Then at the end of the 2 weeks, We said to the guys in Stonebridge that the guys in Church Road produce your music. We said to the guys in Church Road, the guys in Stonebridge produce your music. We've got young people that are divided literally just because of the postcode ownership of certain, of youth violence. But at the same time, they don't want to belong in that field anymore. They want to do something different. They want to work with another side. So once everyone understood that and they felt it was safe enough to come together, we arranged a meet.
Even the most challenging times would also include being some of the best times. And especially when you get results, when you get positive outcomes, when you actually see change take place, when you see barriers of mistrust break down and the kind of levels of trust build up, that's one of the most rewarding things, because that's when you can start impacting a young person in a positive manner and kind of make those positive changes that you're here to do.
As soon as the beat went on, both sides jumping on the beat, started to work together, making music together. That was for me when I realized what I was actually doing. I realized the power of music, passion, and aligning young people with a different mission could change some of their mindset.
It's obviously been a place where you could be yourself, express yourself, and it's just one big family, really. I feel like I've been able to develop a growth mindset whilst being at United Borders.
It's made me a lot calmer, I'm a lot more humble. I think before I do things now, I'm a lot more mature.
Originally, we started to address serious youth violence, and then we kind of went a little bit deeper and understood that there's a school to prison pipeline. So we thought, well, we need to get to the source. There's no point working at this end. We need to get to the root of where the challenges are. So then we moved into early intervention services, which was about supporting young people who are on the verge of exclusions within schools, working with the young person, working with the schools, and working with the family in tandem to guarantee that young person has more of a chance of staying within school.
When they go to the United Borders bus, they feel that sense of belonging, they feel that sense of connection, and they feel a sense of inspiration about who they can be in their future. They develop skills, they socialise, they get to understand the importance of academic learning, and then they bring that back into the classrooms at Queen's Park Community School. There's a meeting at the school where the young person's been having some difficulties and the parent is quite anxious about that meeting. And we found that then somebody who's worked with the young person at United Borders will come into the school and join that meeting and really help everybody understand each other and help for a positive outcome for that child. And so the parents really trust and value all the work that United Borders is putting into their young person, but also they then value how it helps them communicate with the school.
There's one particular student that I'm thinking about who, honestly, a lovely student, but she was quite sad and her behaviour was quite challenging, and I honestly never saw her smile until the day that I went onto United Borders and saw her. I didn't even realise she had that voice. She was rapping and creating all these beats and just doing what she loved, and I saw her smile for the first time, and I'd never seen that before in all the time that I'd been here.
Taken away from the bus in my actual life, I really feel like I explore different things, more motivated to do stuff, I want to succeed in my education, music included.
Two strands that we had to really impact was early intervention services and diversionary services. So our diversionary services, we get referrals from youth offending teams within councils. It could come from social services. Could come from, a lot of the referrals come from Metropolitan Police themselves. So we've been working in tandem with all 3 to 4 different agencies to ensure a different outcome for young people who are stuck in a certain lifestyle that want to see changes within their lives.
I think United Borders is an answer to a question that is being asked quite a lot. How can we reduce youth crime? How can we engage young people meaningfully in a way that means that they feel not only have they learned, but they've had personal development and opportunities. So I think it's in line with the Mayor's objectives, with central government objectives, with overall just any professional body who is interested in improving the welfare of young people and diverting them away from a life path which is not good for them or society.
Also, the main aim is, with austerity, we can see that a lot of safe spaces, play centres, etc. for young people were stripped away. Over 600 spaces throughout the whole of the UK closed down because of austerity. So young people lost their spaces of safety and were exposed and pushed onto the streets.
I do like 2 things or 3. Sometimes I work to help other people engineer. I make my own songs, and then I also just come here to chill as well. Before I came here, I used to have quite a negative mindset. Not completely, but I used to be more negative. I used to do certain things and make stupid choices, but now they've sort of helped me to like mature a bit and like get to grip with what I'm supposed to be doing in my life.
We work with Brent Council, we work with Enfield Council, we work with Barnet Council, we work with Barnet Social Services, Brent Social Services, Westminster Council. In Enfield, we work with a great group called Nexus, who have helped us do a lot of our early intervention work and our diversionary work in Enfield. We also work with, well, we've been funded by the Youth Endowment Fund in the last year. A lot of that is about ensuring that we carry out our work over a sustained period of time, doing diversionary work, so working with young people who are very vulnerable and at risk, but also working with the University of Birmingham to evaluate our work and to see how effective our program actually is. So that's been a different arcs, but it's been brilliant. For the first time in a long time, we're actually able to monitor how and strategize how to be effective within the field that we work in. So sometimes a young person might come, music production or podcasting might not be the thing for them per se. So we'll just signpost them to another organization or to another passion project of them. So it's just to try and keep them engaged. As a lot of us within the organizations are either parents or we're parenting, you know, we're looking after young people in some kind of capacity.
The most amazing things about them, they're so compassionate for what they do. You can see their love for the youth, the way they run around, the way they contact them, the way they mentor them. They are not only support the youth, but they support the whole family. They supported my family. They gave counseling for me and my son. They were mediating between us. They took us for gym lessons where me and my son, we could sort of like work together. So he could see me as not just as a mom and also as a friend.
This is an opportunity for them to learn to be more mature, be around positive people, because at the moment, as we notice, the village not growing the kids. So this is an opportunity to have some other organization to help support the kids, because the kids, a lot of kids these days not listening to parents.
You have to be able to support the parent, to support that young person's needs, and also to draw on a bigger picture on what are some of the challenges impacting the parent, because those will be the challenges that also impact the young person. So initially, a parent might be a little bit fatigued because they've worked with so many other mentoring services, or they've worked with, you know, they're working with different people in different capacities. They have to attend different meetings day in, day out. So a lot of the time they're really just worn out from multiple agencies, or just fatigued by the challenges that's being presented by their child.
I do more family mentoring. I don't just work with the young people, I also work with the parents as well, which I think is very important, because United Borders, we like to look at the holistic aspect of what's going on around young people. You know, within the family, the environment, you know, look at the social construct of what's going on in their lives.
If I were to speak to another parent who's going through challenging time the way I was, I would say that through their mentoring, they make tremendous impact. They changed my son's life, where now we are in a much happier place.
And then it's a case of setting up a program so the young person can safely leave their fixed abode or school or whatever it is, take a taxi to our project, and then come and work with the mentor. And then we provide lunches.
Not everyone may have access to food or may have not eaten, you know. So it's like just a gesture of care, to be honest. Make sure that everyone's good. Make sure that everyone leaves with a good experience, or make sure everyone leaves in a good mood, you know. Because like food essentially is like it makes you feel good, you know. Like especially good food, you know. You're gonna leave like some food actually makes your day, you know what I mean.
Provide a safe environment so they can eventually connect with other young people throughout Brent.
In regards to United Borders and working with other youth people, it's like it's easy for you to connect with other people. I don't know. I think maybe because we're all coming from the same type of backgrounds, like broken homes and crime in our lives and things like that.
Like you can see faces like that just come in, you might not know them. Then after a while you get along just through bonding through the program.
This year we were able to actually say to our mentors, right, here's a contract for the year. We're gonna pay you X amount, month in, month out. Here's what we expect. These are the outcomes we expect, etc. And we were able to deliver our services to over 160 young people, keep 158 young people still in school, not excluded. Was able to mediate 2 serious youth violence cases, one in the police station, another one within the school. So it just goes to show what can happen when you're funded sufficiently, the kind of impact you're able to make. Now take that funding away, that's 160 young people who would have been excluded again. 160 young people that are now in the streets or in a Peru and now have different life decisions to make. As opposed to this year, we can proudly say, we've got 160 young people who are still in school, not expelled.
United Borders is great. It's helped me to pursue something that used to be a hobby and now to maybe more of a dream of being something in music. And obviously I knew about the bus, but I didn't know it had like a community within it. Everyone comes on this bus for a different reason, whether you just want to make music or you're trying to get away from something. You know, music is an escape for certain people, and I feel like the character development on this bus is really portrayed throughout speaking to your mentors and whoever else you obviously feel safe around, really.
I'm proud, man. Like, coming from the first bus was originally burnt down for whatever reason, and to see like 4 years later on, we've got a kitted bus. Like, we've got TVs, we've got a studio downstairs, we've got a gaming room, we've got a lot of places where, you know, young kids can feel comfortable and get along with each other. And I feel like music is definitely one of those ways to get along. We need to get more buses in more areas so we can help people in other areas and, you know, just build our image and just let them know that. I personally hope in the long run, all the results that we're doing eventually get some massive recognition, and also like people are willing to help us outside of United Borders, which we do get help, but like massive change, so we can make even more massive change for our young children out in London and out of London.
My family, I just pray that we safe where we stay. With Mac clear spray for violate. Can't see so much that my blood turned cold. Now I'm drifting off this high with some weed in my smoke. Now our brothers wanna check when I'm fine on my own. I can tell a lot of stories, but it's mine that she wrote. Young you in the hood around knives and poles, and man them that will let it clap if you scheme on the road.
Lived in Church Road all my life, and obviously I've looked in the crowd and I've seen everyone I know, and they're just all cheering for me. See Buckshot and Z. I just thought, yeah, it's just the time. I can't back out now. I got to put on performance for my community. I feel like, I don't know, it was just so surreal. I'm 16. Church has never been like that. Never been together like that.
I think the misconception sometimes is that we're just a bus. The reality is that we're connecting young people within whichever catchment area we go into, and these young people wouldn't normally work with this other set of young people because they're known to a different area code. Now, working with us through a period of months, etc., it brings down their defenses, and they actually see that there's benefits to working with someone that you don't know from a different area.